Hey guys, it's Fox. Today we are going to discuss some changes coming with the winter update. The thing I want to talk about is the sandbox updates. So they are making tweaks to the sandbox, hopefully to improve competitive, to improve ranked, and to improve the overall gameplay. So as you can see here, the first one they discuss is the plasma pistol. They will increase the base shot damage from 20 to 28. They will increase the shot angular velocity from 20 to 35 degrees per second. So that's how well it can track you. And then they have increased the charge shot guided angular velocity from 50 to 70 degrees per second. And we have updates to the pulse carbine, which will increase its angular velocity from 25 to 35 degrees per second. The decreased angular velocity from 50 to 30 degrees per second, increased target leading fractions from 0.35 to 1, and then increased guided projectile error radius from 0.2 to 0.22 degrees. We're going to see a change also in the VK78, so they're going to increase the prioritization angle from 0 to 0.1 degrees. Bullet magnetism will also increase a 0.05 degrees. There will be more aim assist, and then a decreased minimum error angle maximum from 0.8 to a 0.6 degrees. We will be seeing changes to the battle rifle. It looks like in attempt to make it a bit more competitive and increase the skill gap. So there will be headshot prioritization angle reduced from 0.25 to 0.2, bullet magnetism angle reduced from 0.24 to 0.22, bullet magnetism range reduced from 20 WUS to 18 WUS, and bullet magnetism fall off range reduced from 12 WUS to 10 WUS. This will hopefully make it so that way the BR75 is not so much of a laser beam that it is now. So that will be another welcome change. I am sure, as many people have complained, there is no skill gap with the BR75. We will also see a change in the frag grenades, the increased detonation timer by 0.2, which is going to be great because everyone has been naded on hill or on rotation, and it's hard to react to those grenades. It sounds like they will be removing snap sliding. The disruptor will have a very welcome change. It is a gun that there has been a lot of hope for, but not a lot of consistency. And as you can see in the patch notes, that is due to the damage over time. Sometimes it feels like the gun kills very quickly, other times it feels like it doesn't kill at all. The issue, at least from what has been seen, once you are shot, if the player is standing still, it seems to get that damage over time consistently and kill them. But for an enemy that is moving, it doesn't seem to follow properly. So they will increase the ammo count from 10 to 12, which will hopefully help fix some of those issues. Then they also, probably the most important thing, have given us updates on desync, aiming, and more. I'm just going to read what this says because I do not want to interpret it. Beyond the winter update though, we do know there's still more to go after to improve the feel of the game. So in the next few months, we'll be releasing balance updates to mouse and keyboard improvements and bug fixes for networking desync issues faster than we have previously. In addition to any topics that emerge after the winter update, here are a few things that go on the list for next month. So they will be improving mouse and keyboard input. We will be getting a red reticle on PC, which is incredibly exciting. This is the big one. Networking desync improvements. To go after networking improvements, including desync, we needed to identify all the various ways the issues could present themselves. As covered in our closer look blog covering the topic, there isn't a single issue causing all the problems many classify as desync. Each issue is its own individual bug that we'll have to find, investigate, reproduce, fix, test, and implement. In the case of networking and desync, we focused in on a few key areas. This is big. They're finally addressing the desync problems that we've been having. When the server says you are in one place on the map while your client shows you in a different spot, which is the primary desync issue. Blank shots, which is something that I suffer from a lot, especially playing on EU servers. You fire shots at a player and see them connect. You fire shots at a player and see them connect, but the bullets deal no damage. Getting shot around walls and corners. Again, another issue I have personally playing at 130 ping. You think you are safely around the corner, but you are dealt a fatal blow from a player who no no longer has line of sight on you. And then ghost melees. When you melee a player, hear the hit but no damage is dealt. To add complexity, sometimes there are multiple ways to encounter the same issue, which means we need to include multiple fixes to truly help reduce how often players experience it. For example, many reports of blank shots we've seen are the result of a fake reload bug. Player client shows that they've completed the reload, but the server never received that final reload confirmation, likely due to the reload being interrupted, so it thinks the weapons are still empty. The player's client lets them fire a full barrage of shots, but the server sees this trigger input as if it was happening on an empty magazine. So it reads it as no bullets being fired at all, while it appears as blank shots to the player. Finding and addressing the root cause is typically more complicated. So it reads as no bullets being fired at all, while it appears as blank shots to the player. Finding and addressing the root cause is typically more complicated. With that said, we do have desync related improvements planned to land in the next few updates. And then they go further into ghost melees. Hitting a player and seeing them walk away unscathed or worse, hitting you back and killing you is extremely frustrating. We're focused on this one due to how unfun it can be, but we're happy to say that we're testing some improvements for a few different bugs that were resulting in melee registration issues. The drop shot or drop weapon meta, which allows players to pull up their secondary weapon faster by dropping their primary, was interesting at first, but ultimately became problematic during normal gameplay. We kept an eye on it, especially in high level matches, and agreed with community feedback that it is just too strong for how easy it is to pull off. As a result, we are planning to bring the drop shot time in line with the speed of just swapping weapons in future updates. So that's going to solve the GA that the players already have on drop weapon. Finally, we've noticed that the energy sword can be a little too effective on maps with tighter corners. To help bring it in line where we like, we'll be updating the melee trade logic on the energy sword. Right now, if both players are no shields and they melee each other, the player with the energy sword will survive with a sliver of health. This upcoming update the melee logic so both players trade melees and die. So for those of you who maybe started out in Halo Infinite, I remember vividly in Halo Reach that you could essentially joust someone by timing your melee and meleeing off the sword. The fact that they are updating this so that way you can trade melee is a huge deal and something we've been asking for a very long time. And I hope that this means that we will see the sword return in competitive play, because the sword is a very fun weapon and was overpowered in Infinite with no trade options. These will change the way we play the game more than just maps. Forge will change the game a lot, but these will change how we play standard competitive, ranked, and how we're doing our challenges. Just a quick note on the challenges: they are reducing them from 20 to 10, so it's easier to complete them, and they are also making it so that way you don't have to play specific game modes. All right, guys. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. I know it's going to be a bit of a long one. These updates are important. I'm very excited to see these changes, and 343 finally acknowledging some of the issues that the community's been talking about for so long with so much silence. If you guys liked the video, please consider dropping a like, subscribing, help the channel grow. I know we're a small channel, but we're trying our best, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the content because I want to keep making this. This is the game that I love, and I've loved it for 20 years, and I'm happy that I'm finally taking the plunge and making content around it.